2,000 years, Christians from around the world have been drawn to Jerusalem to walk in the very footsteps of their Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Again, this year, hundreds of thousands of Christ followers from abroad will be drawn to the eternal city. Jerusalem was founded 3,000 years ago by King David as his royal city where the temples of the Jewish kings Solomon and Herod once stood. Holy Week in Jerusalem begins for Christians on Palm Sunday, often in churches other than their own faith. Traditional mid-morning Lutheran services are in the heart of the Holy City, with Palestinian families and visiting pilgrims coming from abroad. All worshippers are provided with palms, and the procession marks the same journey Christ took into the Holy City. Immediately following the worship service, the procession departs to climb for the Mount of Olives and assemble with thousands more pilgrims. All join in the reenactment of Christ's triumphant entry into the city.
We're under a carob tree, carob the boxer over here, which is a symbol of life, fertility. The Garden of Gethsemane is the place where Jesus is actually becoming the ultimate sacrifice for the sins of everybody according to Christianity. And again, this is where he is betrayed by Judas Iscariot. Some of them are considered to be the oldest trees in the world, which are the witnesses to the suffering of Jesus.
The Way of Calvary comes Friday. In Latin it is called the Via Dolorosa, the Way of the Cross. About a mile through the twisting streets of the Old City, tens of thousands of pilgrims walk in the footsteps of their Savior, marking his crucifixion, starting late in the morning of Good Friday. The Way of the Cross has 14 stations, the first 9 along the narrow and winding streets. The final 5 are within the Church of the Holy Sepulchre.
At the time of Jesus, this was an open area with a major hill, and people were crucified here day in and day out. This was the place of where people would see, because the market is like the mall of today. People would walk all along the way, lift up their heads, and they would see the people being crucified. Come inside and I'll show you. Can you see that Jesus was crucified actually on the cross right over here? After Jesus dies on the cross, they take him, they shroud him and anoint him right over here. They prepare him for the burial on this slab that you see over here.
Easter morning, while it is still dark, believers of the congregation climb the slopes of the Mount of Olives to celebrate their Savior's resurrection. As the sun begins to rise, pastors and priests loudly proclaim, "He is risen," and the pilgrim congregation shout in reply, "He is risen indeed." For the faithful, Easter in the Holy Land and the Holy Week brings them to the spots where Jesus once preached. An innocent man who pleaded before God his Father to forgive those who knew not what they were doing. He arose again and took his place, the Savior for all who follow, with a promise to come once again. That is Holy Week in the Holy Land, and that's the way it is. For Good Morning Boss, Mike Cohen for PTV.